Hello and welcome back to the SXmini UK page here on Facebook, and for that matter if you're watching this over on YouTube, the SXmini YouTube page for the UK. So there's been a couple of new releases for SXmini on the run up to Christmas. One of them is the Pure Max 2, we're going to be looking at that next week, but up first we're looking at this, which is the MQ Class. It marks a return to the external battery wattage and, for that matter, temp control base mods that SXmini were very well known for. In fact, all along that row there, in fact, is it all of it? Yeah, it's practically all of it. All along that row there is all of the SXmini older products dating back, way back to the likes of the G Class, the Q Class and the Q Mini. This is what the bedrock of SXmini was in the foundation of the company. They were very well known for single and dual 18650 base mods. This is a return to those mods. Single 18650 now. Before we get into this is not a review, it's a presentation video. You're going to get close-up shots, a rundown of the menu, basic measurements of the system. If you want a review, well, including myself, there's a load of other people on YouTube that have already got their hands on this and are already either in the process of putting a review out or they've already got a review out. If you want a review, head over to YouTube. If you want to see what this mod's all about, just the basic info, stick with this video. Let's spin round and have a look, shall we? Let's unpackage this thing. So, comes in the box, as you would expect, colour black. It comes in various colours, by the way. You've got all the usual info that's going on with the box itself. If we pop the box open, you've got your MQ Class sitting in here. Pop that to one side. Pull out the tray. You have got your USB cable, as you would expect. And, of course, you've got your instruction manual. Forgot the name of it there. You get the instruction manual and you've got your fill-in warranty card, and that's basically it for what's going on with the contents. You're probably noticing it doesn't come with a tank. Yeah, because it doesn't come with a tank. It was very rare, even in the old days, for SXmini to actually release a mod with a tank included, because they're not really well known for making tanks. But yeah, let's move on. Before we get into this, let's have some basic measurements, because there's going to be people out there wondering just how small this thing actually is. So we're going to bring out the calipers, make sure it's settled in at 0. Top to bottom, you're going to be looking at an overall height of, call it 76mm. It's pretty it's pretty bang on. Front to back, you're going to be looking at 36.78, and at the widest point of the main body, you're going to be looking at basically 24.5mm. Now that 24.5mm is going to be very important for the people out there wondering what size of tank this thing is going to take before it starts to overhang off the edge. It will comfortably take a 24mm tank. However, when you go to a 24mm tank, it will begin to overhang. It won't fully overhang like badly, but it will begin to overhang. So that's just a warning for out there for the people that are wondering what tank can actually go on this. Starting at the top, Vic, is the 510-pin spring-mounted Vic. And I should have been ready for that question because I knew it was coming up. Where's my screwdriver? There we go. Let's have a look. Yes, it is. You've got breather holes going in there, and for the people wondering why these things still exist, there is still a number. They're rather old now, but there's still a number of 510 air-fed mouth-to-lung tanks that are still being sold on the market. And all those air-fed 510 tanks happen to be under 24mm in diameter at the base. That's why there's still air channels going directly into the 510. It's to feed those older style tanks. So there's your 510 connection there. At the front, your main fire button, your main screen, your up and down button. On this side, nothing, and on this side, an absolute fingerprint magnet that says MQ Class along the side. SXmini's always been known for popping the name of their mod or the name of the company along one side of the mod. Nothing's changed, they're still doing it. But yeah, a bit of a fingerprint magnet. On this side, nothing, and at the bottom, you've got your USB-C charge point, including don't vape in a bin, and of course you do have your battery cap. So let's just unscrew this, and we'll pop a single 18650 in here. Have I got? Yes, I do. Pop in a molly cell. clearly marked, positive down, negative up. And let's have a look at the menu. So it's obviously got a based chip in here, as you would expect from an SXmini mod. Let's have a look and see what's actually going on first with the main screen. So we are back to basics with the screen. Now obviously they couldn't go full out like the likes of the G Class full colour screen. Because we're looking at a very small mod here, they had to go with a small Air screen. So it's based off one of the newer Yeehee based boards. They've also based it off of one of the newer Yeehee based firmware that's in here to actually support the board and chip. You've got a basic readout here. You've got your battery indicator there. You have got your ohms, your resistance obviously. You've got your volts. You've got your main readout there, and you've got your puff counter, which I completely forgot. You can see, yeah, I've been using this a lot, by the way. You've got your puff counter that I completely forgot to reset. Speaking of the screen, let's have a look at the menu and see what's going on here. 1, 2, 3. That locks it. 1, 2, 3. That unlocks it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now you're in your menu. So you've got your mode, your curves, standby and exit. We'll head into mode first of all. So you've got watts, you've got temp control. We'll head into temp control. You've got C or F, that's Celsius or Fahrenheit. You have got your room temp set. Now this, you'll recognise all this from the newer temp control chips that have come out from SXmini. Stainless steel 316, nickel 200, TCR. Set this for stainless steel. Lock new, auto lock, it's all the usual stuff that you would expect. Just let's set this for lock new, just to get back out of here again. And we're back into temp control. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to go back into mode. VI coil, that's for SXmini's own coils. More about that later on. Volt, variable voltage. We're going to head back into watts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Curves, this is for your different power curves. Anyone that uses power curves will know all about that. Standby, exit, and we go into brightness, and then we go into update. Now, the port down here, because it's an SXmini chip and board that's in this, it will mean that it is firmware updatable. More about the firmware update system will be available on the SXmini's main website. But for anyone out there who's dealt with the firmware update system for SXmini's older mods, the system's very similar for this. It is very similar for this. And that basically covers it all, folks. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to get some of SXmini's classic mods out, and we're going to compare sizes, because a lot of you out there will have some of the SXmini older mods. My own personal favourite, the Q Mini. Yeah, it's a small mod. It's a very small mod. Let's get one of the smaller SXmini mods out there, which is this little fella. You'll recognise that. Yeah, it's a very small mod, folks. A very small mod. And if we spin back round here, again, this isn't a review, but what I'm going to say here is, if you're a mouth-to-lung vapour, mouth-to-lung tanks generally tend to be of the 24mm diameter or below category. It's rare air for mouth-to-lung tanks to go above 25mm, but what I'm going to be doing here, Osiris 25mm, just to give you a look at this. Pop you there, pop you down. Now, there won't be much, but there's a slight overhang. There's the Osiris 25, and you can just about make out a subtle overhang going on over at the edge, because the overall widest width from side to side is basically 24.5mm. That kind of carries on round the back of the mod here, and that's why 25mm tanks, which is what the Osiris 25 is, you're going to get a slight overhang with it, just a slight overhang. Anyway, 55 watts, here we go. Help I've opened up the airflow. And there we have it. So, again, I'm not going to be giving my own thoughts on this. It's a presentation video you're looking at, basically a close-up for the people that want a little bit more info. If you do want a full review of how people think this thing performs, head over to YouTube. There's a growing number of UK and US reviewers that have got their hands on this mod already, and yeah, it's been getting glowing reviews. It has. There's been a couple of question marks about the 24mm thing going on there, but it's been getting glowing reviews. My own review of this, I think this video goes up on the SXmini page on Tuesday, and I think my reviews goes up on my own channel, I think on Friday, from what I remember. Anyway, that was the up-close presentation of the MQ Class from SXmini. There's going to be a presentation video next week for the second new release from SXmini, which is of course going to be the Pure Max version 2, and I think the week after that there's the third release, which harkens back to the original Pure Max. It's the Pure Max in its square battery form. I don't have that one in yet though, so that might take a little bit longer to actually get up and running. Anyway, that is it from me. As always folks, thanks for watching and have a good one.